You know, I never did beat this game, but I remember it fondly. Let's dive back in. The first thing you're presented with when you hit start game is a poem. A quiet, enigmatic cutscene, something that feels borrowed from old folklore. A shadowy figure searching for the so-called Twilight Dragon, two opposing forces, light and dark, colliding, fading, and then receding. What stood out to me wasn't the imagery so much as the structure. The first line and the last line repeat almost exactly. It gives the impression that whatever the story is here, it's already happened before, and maybe it'll happen again. Whatever that matters right now isn't clear. But it lingers. What's interesting is what comes next. The cutscene doesn't just set a tone, it quietly frames the entire experience. Because as soon as it ends, we're no longer watching a myth, we're creating an account. Not a character, an account. It becomes clear that this is likely what the protagonist is seeing as well. The same imagery, the same introduction, right before logging into the world. The World is the most popular, massive multiplayer online game in the universe of dothack. And in that way, it presents itself as a kind of box narrative, a story inside a story. You, the player, playing a game about a player playing a game. That idea feels familiar now, but in 2002, it was handled with an unusual amount of patience. There's a quiet confidence to how dothack opens. After your account is created, the game presents another layer, a browser. Emails, news articles, customization options. This is how the world of dothack imagines the near future. Not through exposition, but through interfaces. The game was released in 2002, but it's set in 2010. And instead of telling us what the future looks like, it lets us poke around in it. Reading the news fills in small details, how popular the world is, how the headset works, bits of everyday world building that feel incidental but deliberate. Your email box tells a similar story. Registration confirmations, server names, and then a message from a friend, Yasuhiko. And from the start, it's clear that Orca isn't just another NPC. He's someone that the protagonist knows. The person who convinced him, and effectively you, to sign up for this game in the first place. There's one more stop before logging in, the message boards. Here there are players talking, complaining, speculating, explaining mechanics to each other without realizing that they're also explaining them to you. It's clever and very understated. Something about the world already feels established. There's a phrase that fits this best, lived in. When people use that phrase, what they usually mean is that a space doesn't feel like it was created for you. It feels like it existed before you even arrived. The message boards aren't tutorials dressed up as lore, they're conversations already in progress. Players argue, they complain about balance, they speculate about events, they casually reference mechanics without explaining them. And in doing so, they teach you how the game works. Not directly, but incidentally. And that's what makes it feel lived in. You're not the center of attention. The world doesn't pause to introduce itself. It assumes you'll figure things out the same way everyone else did, by listening, observing, and by being present. And by the time that you finally log in, it already feels like you're late to something that's been going on for a while.